Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. This one is for Monday the 14th of November going through until Sunday the 20th of November 2022. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm going to give you a rundown of what the planets are doing this week. So I'm going to go through each day and see what connections they form with one another. The point of these horoscopes is to try and understand that energy, to see where you naturally succeed and where you're naturally supported, and to try and avoid some of the pitfalls and, well, first of all, to become aware of them and then to avoid them. So I'm really excited about this week because it looks really friendly. It kind of feels like a social gathering, like a small group of people coming together, enjoying themselves, laughing, and there isn't a lot of pressure. So there's the potential to have a lot of fun here, especially with other people. And there's also a sense of romance floating around. It's very sociable. So let's have a look at each day then, starting with Monday, the 14th of November. We've got the moon in Cancer. That immediately kind of sets the tone because the moon, it rules Cancer, so everything is right in the world. Also, the moon is the way you feel. Cancer traditionally rules the fourth house of the astrology chart, and that has to do with your home and family and a sense of connection and well-being. So with the Cancer moon being in the chart on Monday, there's a great sense of everything is okay and everything is going to be okay. And that is like worth its weight in gold. It then, though, it opposes Pluto and Capricorn. So any unexpected change or anything that you hadn't planned for seems like a bigger deal than it is. It also trines Venus in Scorpio and Jupiter in Pisces. So that's interesting because it means you have strong feelings about a lot of things going on in your life. But also Jupiter in Pisces gives you this sense of the world as it could be. And that then can make you dig your heels in, and that can cause some inner friction, because if you're kind of making a list and being critical of, hey, this is the way I'd like things to be and this is the way they actually are, you can kind of put yourself in a position where you feel somewhat detached or overly critical. The moon enters Leo at 1:48 in the afternoon. So the Cancer moon kind of home, I'm all, I'm relaxed and everything's as it should be. That kind of transitions into a sense of enthusiasm and you wanting to either lead or put yourself in a position where you can be heard. So it's much more about taking action as the day moves on. Mercury in Scorpio also sextiles Pluto in Capricorn. So again, it underlines this theme that anything that changes without my consent isn't particularly welcome. And the Sun in Scorpio trines Neptune in Pisces. So it's similar to what I said earlier, but it amplifies it even more. So if untoward things are happening, it's not just that this is unwelcome, it's almost like a personal attack. So try and remain flexible, adaptable, and if change comes in, just work with it and go with it instead of sussing out why. Why me? Why this? Why that? It just doesn't lead anywhere. So overall on Monday the 14th, you do start off with this sense of ease and creativity. Also, using your intuition is going to be really easy. So if you work as a healer or you work with your intuition on a day-to-day basis, Monday is going to be a great easy start. You may find it quite easy to solve work-related or real-world issues by following your gut. And water is often associated with being very compromising and nurturing. But interestingly, here on Monday, you have this steely certainty and resolve, which allows you to lead. So it's wonderful because it's a combination of all the positive water qualities of I'm considerate, nurturing, but also fire. I have something to say and I want to influence people and I want them to come along with me. So it's really good for kind of group situations. If you have a vision about a better way of getting something done than the other people around you or in your group, make sure you either follow that guidance if you're going to implement it on your own, or make yourself heard in that situation and pass it on to the other people so it's up for consideration. It'll go really well. Tuesday the 15th, we've got Venus in Scorpio forming a trine with Jupiter in Pisces. Okay, so now we're entering romance season here. Venus in Scorpio has really strong feelings, and they're feelings that you don't really have to question. You know in your bones that this is something that's important to you and that you want. And then the combo with Jupiter in Pisces is wonderful because you can kind of imagine this wonderful future for yourself. But then the good luck of Jupiter actually ensures that if you take action on that, you're likely to get a good result. The Leo moon then trines Chiron in Aries. So there's a sense of, I want to do something for myself here. I want to be independent. Squares Uranus and Taurus, especially now when it comes to change. So it's interesting because things have shifted. On Monday, it's like, oh, any change, I'm not so eager, like what's happening. On Tuesday, there's a sense of, oh, if there's something happening, I want to get involved. So it's totally different. So things are changing very quickly. It also opposes Saturn in Aquarius. So the only way you're interested in institutions or groups of people or their opinions is if you can take some sort of position of performance or you get your point of, you're more interested in teaching than you are in being a student on Tuesday, is my point. The Sun in Scorpio also quincunxes Mars in Gemini. So watch out for really just speaking your truth to absolutely anyone who will listen, because sometimes it can be a little bit dangerous to kind of wear your heart on your sleeve with complete strangers who may not have your best interest in mind. So on Tuesday, I would watch for that. Overall, it's really positive, and to the extent where it's a little extreme, because I think on Tuesday you have the potential to veer off into fantasy land a little bit, and you could even project all these amazing qualities onto another person that doesn't in reality possess those wonderful qualities. So rose-tinted spectacles, that kind of syndrome is potentially there on Tuesday. There may also be a sense of envy floating around, which is much more serious. So seeing what other people have and then trying to acquire the same thing, but not having the exact same thing, obviously, because you're your own person, and then settling for something that doesn't quite fit as a way to solve this, what seemed to be a problem. So try not to do that, because if it doesn't fit to begin with, it never will, whether it's a person or a job or a place. Instead, it's best to get creative and even to do a little exercise like putting pen to paper and making a list of what you want, so that you can see in black and white what's right and true and good for you specifically, because your own spirit has its own wants and needs, right? It's important to figure those out or to become aware of them, and seeing them in black and white can make you feel more certain about it and keep you on track. Wednesday the 16th, we've got Venus going into Sagittarius at 4:09 in the morning. So Venus is the planet of love and beauty and creativity. It's like the Empress in the tarot. And in Scorpio, it's like about really digging deep. I was going to say the bottom of the barrel, but no. It's really about getting to the truth of who you are and what's important to you. So having said that now, if you're trying to borrow other people's hopes and dreams and you're trying to kind of co-opt them for yourself, it's much better to live your own hopes and dreams. It just takes a bit more work sometimes getting there and figuring them out. But Venus in Scorpio is going to help you with that on Monday and Tuesday. So now when the planet moves into Sag on Wednesday, it's much more about a love for the future and adventure and broadening your horizons and really educating yourself and learning and looking outside of yourself. Whereas Venus in Scorpio is looking inward, right? We also have the Leo moon, so more fire, Sagittarius fire, Leo's fire. That sextiles Mars in Gemini, so the inner performer is still very much alive. It squares the Sun in Scorpio and Mercury in Scorpio, and it quincunxes Neptune in Pisces. So that's great, because it's like I have this imagination and what could be, but I'm not so rigid about it. I'm not getting frustrated if reality doesn't match what I'm feeling. Instead, you're more willing to do the work to get there. So you're far more productive and far less likely to dig your heels in. Or your perspective and your outlook is much more constructive. Yes. The Leo moon also quincunxes Pluto in Capricorn and Jupiter in Pisces. Did I mention those already? Mercury in Scorpio trines Jupiter in Pisces. Yeah, so that's this continuing ability to use your imagination and to play the tape forward, but not to get resentful about what you haven't got. So Wednesday, with all this water and Venus going into Sagittarius, there's a greater sense of confidence and I want to see what's out there in the world. So you are enthusiastic and you may want to take some time off to explore. It is a great day to daydream and to spend time with a loved one or friends or anyone you kind of feel close to. There's great potential for romance and feelings are running high, but in a good way. especially if you get to explore something that's unfamiliar to you. So you see how this totally changes. I mean, Monday is so different from Wednesday. Monday is very much about, being content, and then Wednesday is like, okay, what could be? So your perspective is totally all over the place. So being flexible and adaptable and willing to change is important. If you want to, otherwise there's a sense of I'm being left behind here. Thursday the 17th, we've got the moon going into Virgo at 2:04 in the morning. The moon in Virgo is about preparing for winter. It's really, let me get organized and assess everything so that I have enough in storage for the tough times, right? So, what is it? Save some money for a rainy day. That's Virgo's motto. The Virgo moon then squares Venus in Sagittarius, and it quincunxes Chiron in Aries, which is a great combination. So the Virgo moon is like reason and order. Venus in Sagittarius is adventure. So you combine those two and you've got a travel agent. It's amazing. So what am I going to do? And what are the action steps to get me there? And then Chiron in Aries, I'm going to make sure I get what I want out of this. Mercury enters Sagittarius, so that broadens things even more. So we're coming out of Scorpio season and we're going into like the only sign. I always mention this with Sagittarius because I just think it's so poetic and amazing. But Sagittarius is the only fire sign in the winter, right? Because astrology is based on the northern hemisphere. And it's this amazing fire in the home, and outside it's snowy and cold. It's like this thing that really warms you. So Sagittarius allows you to tap into that and say, what new adventures would really warm me and give me something? And with Mercury being the communication planet, you're able to figure that out and see it very clearly. So the Virgo moon on Thursday allows you to be very practical and to get focused on what needs to be done. With that, it's super responsible, unlike Venus in Sagittarius, and it's kind of like a back to school day. Get prepared and pack your bags and everything. You may want to take an honest accounting of where you're up to with work, your education, anything that you're working towards for the year, and to get organized with it before you rush off and do something fun and new. There's also the strange kind of ability to get organized for the future and to anticipate what could come next, which is very specific and rare. So look out for predictive dreams and anything that kind of hints towards, hey, I'm really preparing for something that doesn't exist quite yet, and pay attention to those things because it's a nice indicator of what's likely to come. Friday the 18th, we've got the Virgo moon opposing Neptune and Pisces. When these two oppose each other, Virgo moon is, like everything has to be rational and make sense. And that, don't get me wrong. I'm a Virgo, so it sounds like I'm being super negative about Virgo. I obviously love Virgo because I am one. Virgos can be a little bit obsessive. The plus points is that they have access to the physical world and can really adapt things, and through this ability to assess and to analyze, understand the true nature of something in order to make it flourish in a practical sense. Like, so in that sense, Virgo is the gardener. It nurtures through physical action. So the Virgo moon opposes Neptune and Pisces. So it's kind of like, hey, listen, I'm gardening, okay? I'm not interested in fairy tales right now. Get off. Like, don't bother me. It squares Mars in Gemini. I want to express myself through something practical. So you're in doing mode. You're not in listening mode here on Friday. And it also squares Uranus and Taurus. I don't want to be disturbed. Trines Pluto in Capricorn. I'm working towards greater change here. Thank you very much. So you may take yourself quite seriously on Friday. It sextiles the Sun in Scorpio. Yes, you do take yourself seriously. My feelings are absolutely everything. And really they aren't, Facts also matter. Other influences matter. And it quincunxes Saturn in Aquarius. So that Saturn actually being a good influence in the sense it balances out that tendency to get too wrapped up in yourself. So the channels of communication remain open. The Sun in Scorpio also sextiles Pluto in Capricorn. The main thing of the day is that you want to work towards affecting some sort of important change. So the dreamy open-mindedness of the past few days kind of evaporates here, and you may have some real-world issues to deal with on Friday the 18th. The reality, I've put a note here, the reality is that I feel like you're looking for a problem. So rather than the world throwing things at you, I think you have this kind of focus with you on the day that You feel some sort of tension within, and to get that out of you, you may look to something that isn't really an issue and turn it into an issue because it'll serve as a distraction. Instead, I think it's better to focus on what is working in your life, or to even be more literal about it, to focus on your working life and to do as much as you can and to be very self-aware about that and not to have these huge expectations on yourself, and even to give yourself little stress breaks during the day so that you don't wind yourself up. That's the thing about the Virgo moon, is that it can get a little bit stressed out because it's trying to process everything. Saturday the 19th, we've got the Virgo moon forming an opposition with Jupiter in Pisces. So I'm laughing because it's similar to Neptune. With Neptune, it's like, no thanks to hopes and dreams. Okay, we're busy. And with the opposition to Jupiter in Pisces, it's like, okay, angels, thank you for the trumpets and stuff, but I'm busy doing my Sudoku puzzle. It's that kind of unwillingness. It's like the willingness to miss this amazing miracle that's happening because you're busy balancing the books. You know, it's like, I'm occupied. It's that vibe. So don't miss something amazing because you're, I don't know, organizing the milk cartons in your fridge. The Virgo moon then also sextiles the sun in Scorpio. Oh, so that's nice because now it's about practicality and feeling. Kind of start working together again. The moon goes into Libra at 11:58 in the morning. That really balances things out and makes you much more even-keeled. Mars in Gemini squares Neptune in Pisces. So I'm interested in facts and figures. I'm not so interested in feelings. Again, the Libra moon sextiles Mercury and Venus in Sagittarius. So I'm interested in meeting new people here. In the morning, with the moon being in Virgo, you may be a little bit quiet and reflective and even self-critical. So that, try not to delve too deeply into that because it eases off as the day progresses and the moon moves into Libra. So try and get as busy as you can in the morning to, you know, the navel gazing. Like if you have a tendency to kind of ruminate and stuff, it's not good to go sit alone in a room by yourself with no distractions, right? It's better to get busy and to kind of distract yourself a bit. On Saturday, you do have this amazing appreciation for other people, especially kind of whatever gets you about other people, whether they're warm or charming or funny. You also have an appreciation for art and people's kind of creative output. You also have an appreciation for nature and environments that make you feel at ease. So it's a great day to kind of visit your favorite spot and to hang out with your favorite people. Sunday the 20th, we have the Libra moon forming an opposition with Chiron in Aries. Oh, so that didn't last long. Peace and harmony, bye. Because now it's like, what do you like? You're much more reticent about, again, the do not disturb sign has come back up. It's interesting, you know, because at the beginning I said it's sociable and romance with some low points, and there are a couple of days where you're shut off. So pay attention to when you feel naturally kind of gregarious and sociable, and when you do feel more hermit-like, and just go with your feeling. There's certain days when it's good and easy, and other days where it's not so easy. So don't torture yourself like, you know, socializing when you're just like, I want to be at home hiding. Well, obviously don't do that, but make it easier on yourself as well. Okay, where was I? The Libra moon opposes Chiron in Aries, yes. It trines Saturn in Aquarius. Okay, so that helps because you still have respect and appreciation for the greater wisdom of other people. So you appreciate the principles rather than just your feelings. Wow, nice. And then I borrowed that from the recovery people. That I didn't come up with that. It also trines Mars in Gemini and quincunxes Uranus in Taurus and Neptune in Pisces. I have time and space to deal with change as it comes, for my own hopes and dreams for the future, and creativity. So you're very nicely balanced here on Sunday. The Sun in Scorpio trines Jupiter in Pisces. So unlike earlier in the week, where it's like, no thank you to good luck, you're now like, bring me the good luck. And the good luck comes via listening to your own instincts, your guidance, your gut feeling. The one thing about Sunday though, with the Libra opposition with Chiron, there may be some conflict in one of your relationships. It's likely that some untruth or like a deception is revealed. So whether someone busts themselves by, you know, like the specific culprit will be revealed, and it'll be like, oh wow, that wasn't true. And it's not something you can then argue about. Like if if someone reveals to you by mistake or something that they lied to you about a certain situation, you can't then get into a whole discussion of why did you lie to me, because the reality is that that's what happened. And instead of arguing about it, I think on Sunday it's important to pay attention to the truth that has been revealed and to try and accept it. Like if someone reveals themselves as having done something, or like behavior that harms you in some way, then believe it and don't try and make it fit. And I hate the phrase, it is what it is. Oh my God, I don't know why it does my head in. What's an alternative for that? Accept reality doesn't quite roll off the tongue as much. But yeah, so don't try and adapt a situation. It's like the rose-tinted spectacle thing earlier in the week, right? Don't put those on deliberately to say, oh, you've just, revealed that you stabbed me in the back, but I still love you. I mean, like, take it for I don't know why I can't talk about this. See it for what it is, and don't try and lessen the blow by then creating some false narrative around it to continue the relationship and to make it palatable, even if it's untrue. Yes, okay. Okay, so that's what I get for you this week. It looks, despite some of the issues I mentioned here on Sunday, it looks really positive, and I just want to what I'm trying to say is that it's 90 or 80% positive. And then, of course, if you're having a lot of contact with people, once in a while conflict will come up, because that's a natural part of interacting with other people, right? So there's 80% of amazing, charming, friendly kind of energy to tap into, and 20% is potentially problematic. So don't miss out just because of an uncomfortable moment or something not quite landing or whatever. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's what I get for you this week. I hope you have a wonderful time. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to order your reading with me, obviously. In my personal readings, I use astrology, the tarot, and numerology. I combine all three. If you have questions about your life purpose, the ideal job, where to move to, family, career, finance, travel, education, anything at all, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. I hope you have a wonderful week. Check out some of my other videos, the daily tarot readings, the special astrology videos I do on new moons and eclipses and full moons, and some of the other videos. So have a wonderful time, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.